control. You can't love nobody else if you can't love yourself. To change your future, be willing for single change yourself. I'm on a positive vibe. I got a positive vibe. Give a positive vibe. From this positive vibe. Some days I feel like quitting, hard to focus through the pain, but the sun it keeps on rising even on a cloudy day. Just some things that
that's the vibe right there. Y'all gotta go out and pre-save it. It's coming out real soon. It's actually coming out on my birthday, June 17th. That will be Excerpt Beats featuring Antonia Marquis. That's Positive Vibes, the remix, produced by, of course, me, Skrilltown MO Music. Welcome to Skrilltown Talk tonight. I'm very excited. We have the lovely Frances Perdue, who is a public relations expert, and she's the CEO of Perdue Incorporated and Scooter P Entertainment. How about that? What's going on?
Hey, it's good to be here.
Yeah, I know that was a mouthful, so I was trying to get it all out and make it sound real smooth. And okay, cool. Yeah, well, thank you, Frances, for allowing us to interview you tonight. I've been excited. I've seen you on LinkedIn doing your thing for a very long time. I'm honored to actually have this opportunity. So,
well, I'm honored. I looked at your profile. I'm like, I need to get my numbers up.
Right.
I ain't got over 100K followers. He's a little modesty, people in the background.
I just try to. I do what I do when I can. Yeah. So I want to go into a little bit of Frances's bio, just to give you a little bit about her, and then we're gonna go into a clip. So Frances has over 15 years of executive management of public relations in Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, and educational institutions. Running her boutique firm, Perdue Incorporated, formerly known as PS Media Talent, brings her very much joy. She's connected with people to do things and things to people. She's connecting people to things and things to people. Frances' most recent position is a public relations director and chief communication director for several companies. Okay, and then it says in 2016 and 2018, her firm was nominated for a Black Business Hall of Fame award by the Hart Foundation and City National Bank in categories of philanthropy and innovation, technology, and entertainment. Her feature is She Boom, and it was a catalyst that led to the discovery of her talents and philanthropy work. It also says she's held positions of Strategic Alliance Chair for the Black Public Relations Society of Los Angeles for 2 years, and she's currently on the board for Imaginetainment and a member of Color Communications. And then lastly, as a new venture, she has become a producer with her long-term management client, Charnel Brown's company, Try-Win Productions, starting with the film, The Coffee Pot, and she's also created Scooter P Entertainment in 2022. Wow. That's a lot. You talk about me, that is a lot. That's what I'm talking about right there. Like, wow. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like I said, I'm delighted. Just the beginning. That's what I'm talking about. Only the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so before I play this clip, tell us a little bit about the Lionsgate panel and because I got, I watched some of it, but I just kind of give us a little gist of what was going on during that panel.
I was fortunate enough to be introduced to Jaya Timas, who's over diverse representation. And it's, all about who you know. One of my good friends, Dre, and his wife connected me to her. She started this company that's blown up. I don't know if you've seen diverse representation everywhere, but they have symposiums now for sports and everything. And their first event I was able to participate in, which you saw, which was at Lionsgate Films. And I was there with her and other attorneys and managers in the industry. who work from anywhere from CAA to independent companies that they own. And we talked about diversity in representation of people of color. You have all these actors, actresses, musicians, producers like yourself, and artists, and who's representing you was the main issue of the day. And so before the DEI trend, which is now fading away, right? The core of it is we need more people of color representing everyone.
Yeah.
And so I talked a lot about my perspective from the Public Relations Society side in terms of, hey, in public relations, we have all this Black talent, Latino talent, Asian talent, but mostly it's a white male dominated field. Still.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, well, I'm going to play the clip. I want y'all to check this out because this is very interesting.
For brands that are up and coming, startups that are on the edge of breaking, that I know that I can help get brand awareness, and that guides me through my profession, which is weird. So I can speak from the publicity side. I had the opportunity to be on the board for the Black Public Relations Society for 3 years. And within that, I learned a couple of things. I learned that everything isn't about race. Wow. What I learned is about relationship. The relationships that are missing in the publicity field, why you don't know that there's more people that look like me and you in publicity, is because we have managers, right? And the managers don't necessarily look like him. So they go to the people that they know that look like them. But if I made an intercession and I come in between and I say, hey, I'm here. I showed up at the entertainment lab like, hey, how you doing? I came to meet you. He said, you came to meet me? I said, I sure did. How do I get on the list to be listed as a publicist?
Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's game right there. That is exactly what I'm talking about, and this is why I wanted to have you on this podcast. So
I'm here.
I'm telling you, we're gonna get right into it. So welcome.
Okay.
This is the series for women in entertainment. So we're gonna get right into it. So my first question would be, what is public relations?
Public relations has a traditional definition of creating an opportunity for press for traditional media, which used to be print, which we know is almost obsolete, right? So that's your newspapers, physical news, which you would say your magazines, etc. Radio and television. And so that was before the era of what we're doing right now, which is vlogging, video blogging, and what we call new media. And so it was the intersection of bringing positive news to those particular outlets, and what we call earned media, meaning it's not payola, it's not marketing where you pay $5 and it's an ad that goes on Facebook. It's earned, meaning that we pitch a journalist traditionally, right? We know now that you don't have to be a journalist with journalist background, but that's a whole nother conversation. So you pitch a journalist and you say, hey, baby, please, will you please talk about my client? He's so great. He's the best producer. He has the newest single with Jay-Z and blah, blah, blah. And you're pitching in order for them to say, I'm interested. And then they choose as an editor, as a journalist, because that's their boss, right? To put an article together, an interview together, or an opportunity for you to be interviewed on television and or radio or print.
Wow. That right there is rule number one for knowing the business. So with that being said, it's a lot of artists that I deal with, a lot of artists that we all deal with that don't know what public relations is and don't know how important is it. How did you
And then the difference between marketing and public relations is huge too. People don't know the difference these days.
So tell us that. Yeah, I'm because this way I'm gonna break down my other question, my line of questions. So how important is marketing?
Is real different, but they go hand in hand. That's what I try to tell people. It's not a bad or a good thing to go with one or the other. The ideal thing is to go with both, especially if you're a music artist, right? You have your interviews and things, but you also need to do, okay, am I hitting on some cylinders? Let me know. And I like hallelujahs and back and forth. So you need a DJ pack with an instrumental. You need the clean version, the dirty version. You need proper cover art, not with your logos and all this stuff on it, but the actual, cover art, so it can go on different things. you need a DJ pack that needs to be sent to radio stations, digital and analog, ancestral, whatever you want to call it, old school, right? You need all of that.
Uh-huh.
To go to people like yourself who are bloggers who might just have a show on music and they're bumping and dumping it.
Right.
I used to be a DJ, so I'm taking it back. Okay, so
Bumping
it up. Yeah, you like that? Say yeah. Call in number 4, yay or nay. Okay, get off my phone. Next. Right. So you need to have some type of medium. So the main thing to remember as an artist, whether you're an artist in music, television, film, etc., you have to have earned media, which is the public relations side traditionally. And then marketing is the pay to play, pay media. In music, I'm sure you know this, they say it's called payola. You pay that money to somebody to play your spins. What Kanye West said, what did he say? I love his on Jesus Walks when he said, if this take away from my spin, it'll take away from my ends.
Take away from my spin.
Right?
Take away from my spin, take away from my
Every day I go to the club, everybody's screaming out Jesus Walks, right? He was talking about that payola, right? Or those spins. The spins means every time they play your song on some type of medium, whether it's radio, television, in a film, etc., you're supposed to be getting paid. Right. And so in order to get that done, they have to have the product. Yeah. So when you talk about marketing, you remember pay to play. So if it's a commercial, if it's an ad, a sponsored ad, because we're in social media, right? Everything. A sponsored ad is just like a commercial, but just on TikTok or Instagram. So those are the different mediums to get your product, service, or yourself as a brand out.
Okay, so with that being said, what made you want to get into public relations, well, and entertainment? Because it looks like you said, you were a DJ before that as well. Yeah. So what made you want to get into this type of field?
So it's funny, they say make plans and God will laugh at you. So that's literally what happens. So I was a literal neuroscience major at UC Riverside in California, and that didn't work. And so I ended up going into the humanities, right? And then discovered by accident radio. So I was a college radio DJ, and I got all these beautiful experiences, and I felt God shaped me to be in entertainment. And so I would do things like help out with the Omega Sci-Fi's. They would have their, I ain't gonna say, but the big, pass. So they had their whole weekend, and I would have to give away the pass. Then, and be like, we're having a minister come speak, and can you promote it? So I was that hub connecting people to things and things to people. That's where it started. And so I wanted to, go into radio. Then all of a sudden we went from analog to digital. Nobody had no job. And so I was like, sister gotta eat, so I need a job. And so I started teaching. And then in that, people kept saying, I want you to manage me. I was like, I need to make money. I don't know what you're talking about managing you. You're crazy. And I get it. Right. So I was like, whatever. But the calling kept coming, and I kept getting just thrown into it. And people called me the hub. So it's like, you need a hairstylist, call Frances. She knows somebody. Or,
you know, find her. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love research and all that. And I love writing. And so I never knew that's what public relation was. I do not have a degree to this day in public relations. And so I got a chance to, dibble and dabble. I did what people usually say to do, intern for free. I had an internship at Paramount Pictures, which was actually paid, in domestic television sales my senior year. And then after that, I went into teaching, and then I just started volunteering. And one day I met this man named Michael Anthony Snowden. If you know the Wayans brothers, all of the I'm Gonna Get You Suckers, all the way to, whatever they came out with, right? In Living Color, Michael Anthony Snowden was their writer. Wow. And so I met him at this thing. Shout out to Cecily Jamelia. She had this thing called Launch Mondays, network my butt off, right? So I went to this networking event on a Monday, and he talked to me, and he's like, well, what do you do? And I was a blabbermouth. Please don't do what I did. I was like, well, I'm teaching, and da 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 da. He was like, wait, hold up, baby. Hold up. Oh, hey.
Like, slow down.
And I was like, I help people. He said, listen, you're a publicist. And I said, I'm a quick learner. Right? I said, hi, my name is Frances, and I'm a publicist. And from that day on, I was a publicist. And so I learned how to write a press release, how to network and find where events were to walk people on carpets. I found out how to submit for articles. And then I just started doing what I do naturally, which is connecting with people. And that's how I became a publicist. I became a talent manager before that. One of my long-term clients, Charnel Brown, Kimmy from A Different World. If you loved A Different World with Kadeem Harbison.
Yeah, as we all did. Yeah.
Still do, right? Because they're still touring, honey. Okay.
Yeah.
Every year is a tour. And so this year they did all the HBCUs and everything. So she's still my longest standing management client to this day. And so I kind of combined it all and became this publicist. And now I'm actually a professor at Palomar College teaching public relations.
Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. So the knowledge that you've earned and you've the things that you've learned in this industry has allowed you to open up other doors. It looks like, you know, with the professor. I mean, you probably didn't think you'd ever be a professor, did you? You know, exactly, you know, and not even having a degree in it. So it's just, that's crazy, but that's a blessing.
And I do have degrees. Now, I want to tell you, you know, you got to get a base. I do have a couple degrees, but they're not in public relations, which is weird, you know, or even in media studies, communications, mass communications, or anything. So I'm blessed.
And I'm company in media.
Yes, I do. Wow. I have Philanthropy and Entertainment as well. So I love helping people of color, BIPOC, whatever you want to call us. You know, we went from Negro to colored to African American. So at the end of the day, that's my, you know, African American here. I created my company and it's dedicated to my late parents. And it's to help BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color, get into TV and film and get their stuff distributed so they can monetize.
Nice.
So I'm always trying to help us.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's very, very important. So, you know, what created the mode of you becoming an entrepreneur?
That's a dope question. My mommy, Carolyn Jean Walton Perdue, she never said my name right. I never thought she could spell my name right. She always said, I went to Booker T. Washington type school. And she worked at the VXPX for the Navy brats in the room, or the Army brats or military brats. That's the military base where you bought like your everyday items all the way to furniture, right? So she ended up going from working in a soda shack to running the whole VXPX. And she got admiral accommodations for finding $1 million worth of stolen product, believe it or not. That's another conversation off book. And she got to a wall as a Black woman and had to go out on disability for the harassment and all that stuff. And she got it for life. But she came home and was a stay-at-home mom and started a business instantly. She started a typing service. She would type up any paperwork, and she had an eyesight issue, and she never let that bother her. And I think that showed me a certain amount of strength that no matter what it looks like, without, because despite anybody, you will make it, right? If you make a way. And that's why I'm a solution orientated person. And I do my best to find solutions for all of my clients. And that's why they love me. Because I'll make a way out of no way. And so I got that from my mother. And so she couldn't see, but she'd be like, how you spell this? And all you hear is on that typewriter. And she would, you know, documents. And she had this thing called keratocornea, was the name of the disease for her eyesight. And her cornea shape kept changing, but she made no excuses.
Wow. That's powerful, man. And it always takes that one person that gives you drive. You know what I'm saying? You admire that one person, you see that one person, you know, regardless of who it is. It's like you said, your mother, it didn't stop her that she was losing her eyesight. It didn't stop her that she was disabled. So, and
she never talked about it. No one ever knew. I knew because I was her child.
The weakness.
You know, customize, you know, what do you call those contacts and stuff like that? She never talked about it and never made an excuse.
Well, see, and that's because she didn't want you guys to think it was a weakness for her. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So what is it like? What's the day in the life of a public relations CEO at your company?
It's busy. So as a business owner, people don't understand like there's a structure, right? It's still a company. And so you have to make sure that things are out on social media for your clients, reminding them to put it out or putting it out for them, which we do behind the scenes. People don't know, even though we're not social media people. Constantly pitching, right? When we talked about the pitch a little bit, to different types of mediums. Like, for example, you would be considered a video blogger or a video journalist, right? And so we have to match our pitch to what your genre of interviewing is. We call it your beat, right? And so we have to do that. That's sometimes it's difficult. I don't know if you've been noticing in entertainment, all the people becoming monopolies, like people are buying other companies and people getting laid off. It's tumultuous in our industry because one journalist might be there tomorrow and not the next day.
Wow.
So
why do you think that is?
Because we're going into a more independent based system. The old and our, I would say, how do you say it?
But anarchy?
Not anarchy. I'm sorry. The word fleets me. Archaic. There you go. The old archaic way of doing interviews, the archaic way of even holding it, like how we're doing it right now. This was unheard of 10 years ago. And it wasn't attainable without money, right? So a TMZ could afford to do this, but now you can afford it a little better, right? Not that it's free. Don't think it's free, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You pay the cost to be the boss.
Yeah.
But each genre of business pays a cost to be the boss. And I think people forget that. So, if it's me or my team, we're pitching constantly and we're following up. The art of follow-up in any business is important. Learn to set an alarm and follow up with a lead. Because if you don't follow up, you can't expect that person to do it.
Right.
You're the one who want it. You know what I mean? They don't really care. They'll get somebody else. Right. So you have to follow up. So the art of following up and the art of making friends and influencing people, right? By Dale Carnegie. That book is important because we are.
I have that book. Yeah.
Yes. Right. And so we're constantly networking. And in order to network, you have to meet people at their level.
Yeah.
And that's difficult sometimes. And then you have the barriers of everyday life, race, gender, anything you think of. So you have to get past that and get the perfect pitch. So that's most of the day, creating pitches, sending out pitches, and following up.
So I don't want to forget this question, but it hit on it. I hit on this question when I watched your video clip. Okay. So what allowed you not to allow things of nature, like of color, being a woman, to not get in the way of you getting in the room and showcasing your talent and things of that nature?
My thought process. I always say that I can only control me, right? I can't control your reaction to me, and I can't control you. That's not my job. And so I think being authentically me is what keeps me in rooms or allows me to walk through the room. And I'm a believer. So everybody has their own religion, their own belief system. I believe that God goes before me and prepares the table. And even if it's difficult, the table is still prepared. And so I haven't been able to stay at tables or go through every door, but the doors that I have gone through have been influential. And I'm always thinking about reaching back, right? If I do this, how can I reach back and help somebody else? Or how laterally, how can this help my colleagues, right? So it's not just about me. And I think that's the beautiful part, that I didn't go into an agency full time, and that I always was independent because I had to learn these different lessons. I had to learn that it costs for different, tools, so I can appreciate it a little differently, if that makes sense. And so I always say without, because despite anybody, I will make it. So I've always felt like my angels are in flight with me, go before me and surround me. And so that's my personal belief and why I get through the door and I'm able to do certain things.
Yeah. Okay. So in the 15 years that you've been doing this, and the clients that you've managed to be around, be associated with, what have you learned from the business Like, what would you tell? And this is not the point because I normally ask one question at the end about words of wisdom, but what would you like tell a starting off entrepreneur,
In
female
publicity.
entrepreneur, yeah, about that's going into media? What would you tell them, like just based off of your experiences in 15 years?
Okay, so it's twofold. I'm gonna do the publicity side and then just the entertainment period as a woman. So for
Okay.
publicity, the client is never right.
Mm.
And so unfortunately, I'm not gonna say his name, but he really tall. He like 6'7" to 6'9". And he had the audacity to go to an MTE, he was with the dream team from Detroit, if that tell you anything. So he had the audacity, Francis, go ahead and get my gifts for me at the MTV Gifting Suite that year for whatever, Oscars or MTV Awards, whatever. My dumb butt, I went and got the stuff, and then Mr. White Man came and snatched my stuff up and said, "Ooh, you stealing." I said, "Wait a minute, this ain't for me," right? But protocol, but I'm listening to the client. He like, hey, save me some time. I'm coming on the plane with a manager, blah, blah, blah. And I'm listening to the client instead of listening to me. And of course, when he got there, he was like, I'm not dealing with anyone but Frances Perdue. Hello, where's she at? Blah, 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 which was great. But by this time, I'd have been berated. I've been told that I was stealing.
Yeah. He's like, hold on.
I didn't do anything technically
wrong.
Well, I didn't do anything technically wrong, but I gave these people an opportunity to treat me like I was some damn second-class citizen, and I'm not. Okay? So when he got there, they were like, "Oh yes, oh you're his publicist." Yeah, I told you that an hour ago.
Right.
I learned that the client is not right. You are the expert. They come to you for help. If you don't know something, like I tell my clients all the time, I know what I know. If I don't know something, I'm going to find the person who's the expert in whatever you need that I don't specialize in, and it's not my lane. I'm never going to ill-advise you, and I'm not going to overpromise and underdeliver. So for me, I meet people where they're at, and I tell them straight up, like, I'm in law school right now, but I'm not going to tell you what to do like I'm your lawyer. I'm going to say, this is my opinion, but seek counsel. So at the end of the day, right, until I pass that bar, I'm gonna need you to go down. But I might take the conversation and say, listen, I said right here, seek counsel. Okay, so you can't come back to me when it don't work. All right, hallelujah. Okay, so at the end of the day, you are the expert. Do not rely on the client. They will say and do anything they think is publicity, and it's not. People say all press is good press. That is not correct. I think Diddy would beg to differ right now. All press is not good press. You understand? So at the end of the day, we have to have some type of integrity with whatever we're doing. And we have to be authentically ourselves and trust ourselves as the experts. And be willing, if you don't know something, to ask a mentor, ask a colleague, read up on it, do research so you can be a better practitioner at whatever you do.
That's nice.
On the women in entertainment side, right? Don't be afraid to go in the room. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to create alliances and partnerships. And the only thing somebody can say to you is no. And no can mean maybe later.
Yep. Yeah.
I
got a friend of mine. No, go ahead.
Oh, you say you have a friend of yours?
Yeah, a friend of mine told me a long time ago, no means not right now.
Right. Because it may fit, but just not right now. And you never know that fiscal issue with the company. They may not have had the money at the time, but they loved your idea. You never know.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say, but I was going to say a little anecdote about I became a business owner. I had a Burger Rim franchise, if you ever heard of those, before they went belly up. And I ended up being director of public relations for their whole Fortune 100 company. They were the fastest growing burger joint in fast casual companies. They got Kim Kardashian to come on and endorse the product and everything. I say all that to say, I walked into a room and the owner asked me to come. And I was like, what you doing? I need my press release out. You know, it was all about me.
Right.
And he was like, Francis. I was like, yes. And he was like, I need you. I said, I know you need me. I'm the youngest Black female, blah, 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 right? You know that.
You're spilling yourself a little bit.
You need me. Now give me my press release. Give me my money, right? And so I was in there just being Francis. And he said, no, we need you. And I said, what you talking about, man? And he said, we need you at the company. And I said, so me being the squeaky wheel telling you that it was an issue with my press not getting out and blah, 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 has turned into a job. And he was like, yeah, you start tomorrow. You're going to San Antonio. I said, what you talking about, Willis?
He's like, hold on, what you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about? I'm going to who? Okay, can I bring a glam team? I'm going on TV on Fox. What you talking about? He said, yeah, man. You can do all that. I said, well, give me some money for it. He gave me money. I said, oh, I'm serious.
I know,
so,
yeah.
He real serious. So the next day, or that Sunday, I met him. That Monday, I was off to San Antonio to be on Fox 26, which is a great experience, by the way. So you never know, being authentically you, walking in the room and just saying what you need, whether they say yes or no, can turn into an opportunity.
Wow. See, that's good advice. So as a client, what do you look for? Like, is someone coming in and they really want your services? They're headstrong. They think they got it all. You know, they might be popping at the point, depending on whatever industry they in. I mean, it could be sports, it could be music. What are you looking for, and what are you telling them, you know, during an interview conversation?
I'm asking, what are their end goals? Your end goal is all I care about. I don't care about the glitz and glamour in the moment or what you have done. If you was on The Wire in 1997, I don't care about that. I care about what's the end goal, and is it realistic, and can I really help you? So if you say that I want to be the most noted name when it comes to music production, okay. In what time frame do you want that?
Right.
Oh, you say a year. Okay, where are we at right now? Have we had any Grammy nominations? Have you had an RIAA application turned in for you? Are you a part of any publishing rights? Right.
Right.
Have you have your own distribution? Have you done, performances?
Yeah.
Do you have a performance coach? Do you have a manager? Do you have a role manager, which is different? Like, what do you have structurally to do this? And if you don't have it, are you willing to listen? So the last part is the most important. Are you willing to listen? If you're willing to listen, if you're not willing to listen and you feel you know everything, then do as thou wilt. We part as friends.
Yeah.
And so I think the willing to listen and having goals is what I look for. And then the next part is everything costs money. So I can't do it for free and still have my lights on. So when I set a price, it's a reasonable price. And if you don't believe me, go to the bigger firms and see how much they charge you. So I talk about a budget. Sometimes I'm willing to negotiate with the budget if the client is right. If you want to listen, I'm good. I've had clients that have paid a $5,000 or $10,000 retainer each month and do as thou wilt. They go and do all this other stuff and undermine everything that I put together for them, or what it takes is momentum, right? 90 days to create a habit, 90 days to sustain real press. I may have talked to somebody in October and you don't get your article till December. But I did the work, right? And you never can guarantee. If somebody in public relations guarantees you something, run. Paying for it. Remember we talked about payola. When you pay for something, that's instant gratification. That's what we live in this world, right? But when you have to earn it, remember we said earn media? That takes time.
It's a little different.
But it's worth it. I have an article I did for Devon Franklin when I was his, was before I became his booking manager for Produced by Faith, his first book. That Essence article is still up.
Wow.
2012. What year are we in?
2024. That's 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. Wow.
Other people, they'll do payola, right? And they'll say, oh, I'm in Forbes. But what they don't know is called Forbes contributor. A contributor is not a writer. I'm sorry. Let's go back to the English language.
Let's do it.
So
Yep.
is somebody that's a part of a community, which is dope, right? But they're not on the payroll as a writer for Forbes. So that article is going to be deleted at some point in time soon. And they're going to ask you for money. Yep. Right? So everybody asks you for money is usually not going to stick. How long do commercials stay around? Not long, right?
How
long you're paying for it.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
With a paid article. And I get tired of people doing that. And you see these things on Instagram. Oh, for $199, we can get you in this, and that. It's not a real article. They write a press release and send it to the different places as a press release. How long is that going to last? Did anybody ask you any Q&As like you're asking today, Nate? Did anybody ask them any questions? No. So at the end of the day, if you're not getting asked questions, how is it an interview? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Right.
When was Michael Jackson in a relationship you believed? I'll wait. So at the end of the day, right, you have to go with quality. And that's the best way I can describe it.
That's a game. That right there. I mean, exactly what you said, 90 days. And then the fact that, and I'm just cutting into pieces of what you said, but the fact that people in general think that things are going to happen overnight is unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? And I think it has a lot to do with our culture now, with things happening overnight, but not staying consistent, or I always tell people it's the longevity of certain things that, you'll see artists that are still touring to this day and been touring for 30, 40 years. And then you'll see a fly-by-night artist that is dope right now. I'll give it to them, but in 4 years, you can't even remember them. You don't know who they are. Like, I got to tell you about that artist.
I said, or hear their song spinning.
Yeah, it's like, who's that? You remember that? Yeah, so it's just different, And like you said, it's all about structure and being solid, having a good reputation, and so forth.
And having a goal. And it's okay to have extravagant goals. Just start at the end game of the goal and work backwards. So if it takes 5 years to hit it, what do you do yearly? What do you do monthly? What do you do weekly? What do you do daily? And then start that routine, and your subconscious is going to get you to the 5 years. You just got to keep going. Tunnel vision.
That's what I'm talking about. You gotta work at it every day. It might be bits and pieces, like you said, but you gotta work at something. You can't put it down and then think you're gonna pick it back up in a week or so and think it's gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I expect for this to grow, and I put it down for 2 weeks. Yeah. It just don't happen that way.
I know so many talented singers that will sing you under the table, honey. And the business of music is 90% business. 10% talent.
Yep.
And you wonder why Sexy Red and all these other people that y'all think is not talented is working. But what about her work ethic? Forget her lyrics. Forget what she look like. Forget what she do. She out here having babies and doing her life, right? But what is her work ethic? Has anybody ever sat down instead of tearing a girl down and saying, what's her work ethic?
Right.
One of my good friends, Andre Burgess, love him to pieces. He is my college friend, and then he's just a jack of all trades, a denizen, a producer, TV producer, music. So he said this to me. He said, Francis, the overnight successes are usually 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
Meaning that they work for at least 10 years before you saw a spark of anything.
Yep.
I think the person in music that I love, I just got a thank for him, is Tank. Tank can tell you better than anybody with his stories, right? How he was a background singer. Before Baby I Deserve, what was he doing? He was writing. He was with Aaliyah. He was with all these different people and doing all these things behind the scenes. And he'll tell you to this day, he's made more money off of being a ghostwriter or a writer for people than being a performer, but he just loves it. Yeah. So he still performs. He still produces.
He's still relevant.
And he's still relevant because what he and Jamie Foxx and other people have a beautiful niche of doing is staying with their ear to the street on what's hot. I love hearing Kanye Kanye's version and Jamie Foxx's version about how they came up with "So You Take My Money," right? And he told me, he said, "You sound like an opera singer, man. Say it like." It takes Jamie Foxx to say that, right? And he talks about, man, I'm sitting there like this young dude, he got me sounding stupid. And that was like the biggest hit ever, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Through the wires, like Backpack Kanye had it. He had that magical ear, that crazy genius that we lacked.
Yeah.
So this crazy little different crazy. So I say all that to say that, you gotta be willing to deal with younger people and younger generations than you. And even if it sounds crazy, listen, they might have something. Yeah. I think Pharrell does that amazingly. If you've ever looked at it, he looked like, but that's another conversation too. I want his regimen. All he talking about is putting ice on his face. I said, you didn't put more than ice on your face to be looking.
He don't age.
Years old and you like something. Stop playing with me and give me some of the regimen. Anyway, so I say all that to say that Pharrell and all these people, they keep their ears to the street on what's hot.
Yeah.
And then they make it authentic, right? By bringing in the people and giving them their credit.
Right. They're not going out mocking somebody, trying to sound just like somebody, trying to do things just like somebody. Can't. That's not genuine.
And I might be telling my age, but what's wrong with putting them down as a writer on the split sheet?
Right.
What is it gonna hurt you?
Yeah, it might help.
You got your own stuff. You're older. You're more seasoned. You got your own label, probably. Mm-hmm. It don't hurt you to give to the person that's helping you.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I think Pharrell's so blessed.
You said what?
That's why I think Pharrell is so blessed.
Oh yeah. He's highly talented, and he don't get old. He's still relevant to this day. Like it's certain.
And John Lennon.
Oh yeah, super talented. You saying all these Chicago people, man? Like, what's the deal?
I'm sorry. Let me bring Babyface. Babyface. I don't know if y'all paying attention, but my man Babyface, he got all these younger artists and still pumping out hits. I don't know if you listen to the radio.
You'd be like, wait, is
Babyface out here on the song with Ella Mai? Oh, wait, what?
See,
he's still pumping hits from LaFace. Okay, so that takes innovation. Listening to the younger generation, and you ain't never seen him not give credit. This is my opinion. Never seen Babyface, just my opinion, not give credit to LMI or Lucky Day or anybody else. So what does it hurt? You still relevant through them.
Yep, and we'll stay relevant.
But I digress. I didn't move to another tangent. Forget you pay us. That's what I'm saying.
So lastly, I got two questions. One will be, what's going on up next for 2024 and 2025 for Perdue Incorporated and Scooter P Entertainment. Okay. I just like that name. Oh, that Scooter P name, I just like that.
Do you think what it means though? Scooter P? Okay, Scooter. I grew up in Compton, Long Beach, LBC, right? At the base. And so my dad, he used to laugh. It was a little boy. I ain't big as a minute. It is what it is. I'm 5'4", fighting fury. So I was even littler then. I was still, don't get mad at me. I don't know this man's name, but I know him as Boomer. So I was still Boomer Scooter and I'll be gone. And then I come back like a little big bully and he go to my dad, Mr. Perdue, President took my scooter. And I know he was at least 2 years older than me, but that's another conversation I was going to do. And so I feel this thing like, take your stuff, right?
Yeah, you was the bully.
I was a bully. Little bitty bully. He must have liked me and thought I was cute or something because he sure could have took me. He had some tall twin sisters too, and I still don't know to this day why they spared my life. Okay, but
right.
They could have tossed me all over the place. But I digress. And so Dad called me Scooter. My mom, like I told you, country. She said Francie. That's how she said Francis. If that tells you anything, Francis. She never left Lafayette, Alabama, and Lafayette. It was always in California. To me, where I had to fight folks for my mama saying stuff like "harsh," and they would just take it and run with it. I'm like, "You want to fight? I see you at 3 o'clock." Right? So she would call me Pazapoose. So an Indian baby, because we had Cherokee. My great grandma was Cherokee. Instead of her saying Papoose, she say Pazapoose. So I put Scooter and P together, and that's how we got Scooter P Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's on the website too. So it's dedicated to them, and now they passed away. So I'm glad you asked what's next. I'm still mourning. My father just died in August, and he lived a full life. He was 79, but he was my dad.
Yeah.
And they had me, older. I'm 41, if that tells you anything. And so dad passed. That's why I'm in Birmingham. I'm finishing up his estate. But what I'm doing for Perdue Inc. is restarting my clientele. And I really love CPG products. So I really want to stay in that space. It's kind of a hot button, kind of when I did the Burger Rim and represented that whole company. I like doing that because I can bring in people like yourself as, influencers to promote the product. It's so many aspects to it instead of just one dimensional with an individual client. Now, am I open to individual clients? The right ones, yes. Those that are willing to listen, have goals, have actual things. People think you don't need websites no more or social media, and I'm like, where they do that at?
Right.
If you're promoting a restaurant, I think you might need some social media. It just, how they supposed to know you there? So, I'm just saying the things that I run into. So I'm willing to take music clients all the way to CPG, but my hot button is products and services and getting it out there, brands. So that's where I'm at. I'm starting over with the clientele, but the company is still strong, same connections, and we have some things in the pipeline. On Scooter P Entertainment, my partner and I, Ernest Dancy, we've been scouting for new talent. So anybody with any finished product in terms of TV series, movies, docuseries, documentaries, whatever you have, if you bring it to us, we'll evaluate it and see if we can get it to streamers from Tubi to HBO Max. So we have some beautiful projects coming up. One that's really cool that came over from World Star, Kia Show. It's an actual, it is an actual blog. And so it's going to be super dope. And he has different versions of it. I don't want to talk too much about it.
Yeah, don't put it out too much out there. But,
Yeah. So, his Kinfolk series is coming soon through Scooter P Entertainment. So, God willing, we'll be on Tubi and a couple other, platforms soon. Yeah. And so that's going to be our next project. And then we have a returner to our franchise. We came out with a movie called 5D Love on Tubi, and now they came up with a sequel. And so we will put that movie out shortly. And then we have some other series as well. And we have this one called 50 and Fab, which is pretty dope, based out of Africa. And so I can't wait for these ladies to get the finished product over so we can, get it out pitched. But it's a take on, kind of like The View, but from the Black woman perspective.
Right.
So dope and fresh and refreshing. And so we're working on that. And so we're open to all kinds of projects. We have one called The Heights that was going to be a TV series, but they're turned into an actual film. So right on the last edit. But I love the concept about a father, doing right by his son, but attempting to do it the right way and not, through drugs or trafficking and drug trafficking and all other stuff that they only show us doing. So I'm always about getting a product out that's different, that shows us as human, not just stuck in this little box that they put us in and say that we're this, and that, knowing the truth, which is we built this country, right? From the ground up, from the peanut butter to the railroad tracks. And so for me, my Southern heritage, I can't let it go. And I had this favorite movie, if you can find it. It's called The Human Stain. That movie made me jump into TV and film and wanting to have my own radio, television, and film studios for people of color. That movie, I'm not going to tell you all of it, but basically this white man got up in the middle of the movie and said all kinds of blaspheming, and was like, what kind of movie is this? I wanted to go see a respectable white movie, and this is what you made me see. Give me my money back. He went off. I was like, that's right. Let's make a movie like this. I was like, let's do this. This is what we're doing. That reaction.
Yeah, I'm about to watch it now.
Man who went into the service and put white. That's all I'm gonna tell you. The rest of
Yeah,
it,
I'm
you
gonna
want
have to go check it out. What? Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out. Google that
this is
thing.
some what's that stupid movie my mom used to make me watch every year? Lifetime. Imitation of Life. That's what it was.
Oh, just that stupid movie.
You know, it's a different version of that. So I just was like, woo, and that was that catalyst, like, oh yeah, I want reactions like that. That's what this is about. And
That
so
sound
I
deep.
just feel like God is funny because I never thought I would have a distribution company when I
Right.
put that out there in the universe, you know, and as a goal. We talk about goals, right? Make plans and gotta laugh at you and do something else.
Right, right.
If you told me 3 years ago, oh, Francis, you're gonna have a distribution company, I'm like, no, and no, I'm not adding nothing else.
That's what you said, man. But we'll see.
Yeah, I have it now, so obviously got that different place.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's always something new. Ain't nothing wrong with that. New is good sometimes.
So did I answer all of your questions? I feel like I've been rambling. Did I get the
you
question right?
absolutely did. Yeah. Okay. The last question I got is where can viewers find you on online? Like as far as social media, where can they find you if they want to get a hold of you?
Awesome question. On Instagram, my company's name is Perdue Inc. PERDUEINC. My other company's name is Scooter P Entertainment. So it's Scooter P _ Entertainment on Instagram. On Facebook, it's simply Scooter P Entertainment and Perdue Inc. If you want to contact me personally, it's Fran Nubian on Instagram and Francis Perdue on everything else from Facebook to LinkedIn, where we met.
Yeah. LinkedIn's the spot.
Yes, my companies are there too, Perdue Inc. and Scooter P. We would love to have your projects. We would love to have you as a client.
And this will, and I'll let the viewers know, this will be rebroadcasted on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So, and possibly Twitch. So good information. This has been a great conversation.
For having me.
We most definitely have to. We most definitely gonna have to chat and keep in touch, especially with that distribution. It's just, I mean, that's a lovely piece of the puzzle. Yes.
And thank you for having a Women in Entertainment series. This is dope. We appreciate you for honoring us and giving life to people of color in the industry that represent people, because they don't even know we exist and we're here.
Yeah, and I wanted to try to do 31 episodes in 31 days, but I've only made it to I think 22 maybe. But God's good.
God is amazing.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
People of color in the industry, that's dope. A place for people to come to. So I thank you for having your platform and thank you for having me on it. I'm very honored.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. And we want to thank everybody that tuned in and everybody that will be tuning in. Make sure y'all check out Francis Perdue on all social media platforms. She is doing her thing. And make sure you check out her company, check out her films, and etc. But until next time, thanks, Francis, again. We will talk soon. And we will be out. Yeah, talk to you soon.